We are back with some King Arthur Legends Rise. Big shout out to them for sponsoring this video. If you decide you want to check it out, there will be a link down below. You can jump on in and get rolling. We're going to talk today about some stuff you should know as a new player, because there's a lot to take in, and it's quite a bit different than anything else you might have played. There are some different systems in the game. There's a lot to be aware of. So I just wanted to give a few quick tips to get you pointed in the right direction and give you some stuff to focus on so that you can move forward comfortably without worrying about wasting your time and stuff, all right? So when you do your first bit of summons, you're going to get a legendary named Morgan. Everybody gets her first, so that's going to happen, and she is well worth investing in. I actually made the mistake of kind of putting her off for a little bit because I pulled a few other legendaries and thought, well, they're probably going to be better than her because this is the one the game gives you. She's so worth investing in. She is really, really good, and the quicker you get her up and rolling and strong, the better. She's really awesome. Now, the skill system in this game is a little bit different. We have characters that have their own skills, and then there's a relic system where they get their actual, like, active battle skills. The skills that maybe you'd be more familiar with. And then they also have a relic of each element. So there's no scenario where a champ can't go into a particular dungeon because it's the wrong element. You can change their element by changing their relic, which will also change their skills, okay? So you're going to get her with the fire relic, and she's going to come with this A1 sleep, this A2 3-hitter AoE, turn meter knockback, and then an A3 that's a bigger hit with damage taken increase and a heal block. These are all very, very useful mechanics for you to have in the game. Not to mention that she has this A3 called Squall of Thorns. When using a skill, inflicts defense decrease 2 and damage taken increase 3 for 1 turn. This is like a defense down and weaken type combo, okay, for my raid people, and it's going to greatly increase the damage the enemies are taking. It is so useful. It's so useful. And again, it really makes your life easier everywhere. So even though the game gives you her, you might be inclined to think that she's not going to be good. She is fantastic and so worth investing in. In the same vein of like who to invest in, there's some other characters you're going to get relatively early. Obviously you're going to get Arthur. He's you know, on the cover of the game, and he is dope. A lot of people really like him. A lot of people took him to Chivalry 10, which is the dupe system. Everybody's got 10 chivalry, and you use copies of them to progress their chivalry. Now, legendaries you need 1 copy, rares you need 2 copies, uncommons you need 3 copies, and then I think commons you need 5. So every extra 2 copies of Arthur you get, you can progress his chivalry. You also get these tokens through different progress rewards and stuff that are the same thing. So you can use the tokens or you can use copies. And this is very, very important. It's usually some combination of stat buffs, effect buffs, and then sometimes it will completely rework somebody's skill and make it stronger. So a lot of people took him straight to 10. Usually at 8, there's a huge change. There's something very significant usually at 8. And he's no different. He gets an additional hit when he crits, so he can really start to pop off if you've got him built right. A lot of people were really into him. I personally am really into Kay. I think Kay is probably still my favorite rare right now. At least the most impactful. I took her to Chivalry 10. I've put all of my resources into making her strong. I think she's so cool. I uploaded a video on my Discord last night of her winning an arena fight that we were losing. The rest of my team got handled, and it was 1v4. And because of her mechanics, because she's at Chivalry 10 and the way I have her built, she was able to solo the rest of the team. It was pretty crazy. She's really cool. She's got a very strong AoE on her A3. She's got a very strong A2. There's a lot of self-buffing. She's got tons of multi-hits, so she's going to be really good in Pinveed, which is a dungeon we're going to talk about momentarily. I think she is so well worth any resource you wanted to put into her. I think you could justify maxing all of her skills, all of her awakening, everything. I think she is fantastic, okay? So just as a couple of things, a couple of champs you can kind of have your eye on at the beginning. Morgan, well worth investing in. Kay, well worth investing in. And then as far as healers go, Clementine, Isolde, Sarah. If you pull any of these three, they're very, very good. I don't personally have a lot of experience with Turin yet, but I know a lot of people in my Discord speak very highly of Turin. These are all very useful healers that you can justify building. And then I think it's going to start you off with an uncommon named Luke. He's good for a while. He's good until you pull one of the better ones. You can also rest easy because the game gives you these reset tokens. So if you build somebody that you wish you hadn't, you can hit this reset button, and it gives you everything except most of the gold you spent. Most of the gold and chivalry you don't get back, but everything else that you put into them, you get back. So you can kind of rest easy, and these are not that hard to come by. I think we got 4 for free pretty early on, and then you can buy like 4 a month for 400 gems or something. They're strangely affordable. So usually games really put a tax on that kind of stuff, but in this game it's really not a big deal if you build somebody you wish you hadn't built. As far as things to do, I have a full-blown beginner's guide that's much longer and goes into a lot of detail. If you're interested in that, I'll card to it up there, and you can check that out on my other channel where I'm covering this game full-time, basically. But as a few quick things to just understand as you go in. Obviously, you want to push the main story, which is like the more traditional campaign. You do want to push the adventure. This would be a good thing to jump in and do when you're out of energy, because it doesn't cost you anything to come in here. You just come in here and play it whenever you want to do it. Same with arena. If you're out of energy and out of stuff to do, there is no limit to the amount of arena you can do every day. So jump in and do your arena because that's important. As far as where to be focusing your attention, Penveed is going to be crucial for you very early on, because these are the materials that you need to star up your champs, to rank them up from 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. And the quicker you can do that, the quicker their stats start scaling better, and you can really start to feel the impact, because small changes make a difference in this game. Every little bit of an adjustment you make to any of your champs, you're going to feel, especially starring them up. So this is very important, and then this is very important. It's an XP potion and gold dungeon, and the gold crunch in this game is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. The gold crunch is serious, so you are going to need to be in here. These two will be locked for a little bit, I'm pretty sure, but you're going to want to put a lot of your effort and energy into here, particularly in Penveed in the beginning. And then as you start to need the experience potions because you're ranking everybody up, you're going to need to be in here too. So these two dungeons are well worth your resources. I know sometimes games will have a gold dungeon, and it tends to feel like it's not really worth it. So that's the only reason I'm specifically mentioning that Gorgos is going to be mandatory. You're going to need to farm Gorgos quite a bit. You really can't farm too much. If I'm going to be real with you, you can't over farm this dungeon. You're going to need it. You're always going to need the gold. So don't hesitate to come in here and dump hundreds of energy at a time, because it's going to be very, very important. So there's an idea of a few champs you can invest in, where you should be putting your attention early on, and then don't be afraid to use your gems, okay? You're going to be getting a lot, especially in the early game grind anyway, but I'm well out of the early game grind, and my gems still fill up relatively quickly. There's usually pretty good events going on. There's plenty of milestone rewards, and if nothing else, if you use your gems on nothing else every day, make sure that you're refilling your energy twice at least, because the first 2 times you do it only costs 50 gems. So it's 100 energy for 50 gems twice. Then it goes up to 100, and you can do that 3 times, and then it goes up to 150. I typically don't bother with the 150s, but the 50s, and I would say about half the time I do the 100s. So if for nothing else, use your gems for that. I would not recommend buying gold with your gems. Just farm. The conversion is so much better if you spend gems on energy and then go into Gorgos, okay? So that's just a few very quick, very, very rough tips to get you started in the game. Again, I'll have it linked down below too if you want to go check out the full-blown beginner's guide on my other channel to really get an idea of things to do and what to focus on. But that's it. We're going to wrap this one up for today. Again, big shout out to King Arthur for sponsoring this video. It's really cool working with them as much as I love this game. So there will be a link for the game down below if you want to support me and check it out. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.